Hello friends, welcome to my new video on PySpark window function. We will see how this window functions will be useful in data analysis. So they are very handy. We will learn about how this window function will be useful when it comes to your data analysis. I will explain the concept of window function and what is the syntax, and then we will take an example data frame or data set, and then we will see how to apply on top of it. But before going to that, we need to know what is the difference between a common group by function and window function. So if you can see this picture, on the left side we have the group by, and the right side we have a window function. So looking at the left side, when you say group by sum or group by average, there are three rows which will be aggregated into a one row. Whereas in window function, if you look into that, the number of rows are not reduced. It will be the same, but on top of it, you can apply the aggregate function and create an additional or new column for each row. So this is where the window function is different from the group by function. Where and when we use this? So let's consider some of the scenario. Let's say you have been asked, you have a power consumption data set of various city and then in India, and then you have been asked to display the total power consumption and the total power consumption per city within the every row value. So you have to show the total power consumption, which is the sum of all the rows, and then you have to show by city. So this is the one scenario where you can use. The next scenario is arrange the total power consumption in descending order within each group. Let's say you have a city, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and you have to show the total power consumption of each city in a decreasing order. So in that case, your group by function will not be very handy. You have to use your window function. And the third one is you have been asked to show the previous month consumption and current month consumption in the same row. You cannot make use of group by function to come out with this requirement. And then the last one is take the example where you have been asked to bucketize the power consumption as medium, low and high by city. So these are some of the use cases. These are only a few examples, but when you can make use of this in every aspect of your data analysis, and then you can learn to know that how you would create a new feature that will eventually help you in getting a better result when you run the model. Let's get started with our hands-on tutorial. The first step what I'm doing here is the connecting with the Colab drive and installing PySpark, and then creating a Spark session, and then importing the PySpark libraries. These are some of the steps, are basic steps which are already been explained in my previous video. If you haven't watched, I request you to go and watch that. Let's start with the data set. I have used the data set electric power consumption, and this is the 7 main municipalities of Colombia, and the date ranges from December 2010 to May 2016. And this data set consists of 4.4K rows and 6 features. And if you want to know more about this data set, the link is given here. You can click on the link and you can get the data set downloaded. Okay, the first step is after the loading the data set here. This is a CSV data set, so I say spark.read CSV, and then I use the print schema to see the columns and their data types, and then I'm showing the first 10 rows from the data set. And in this step, I have a date value. We can see here the date value is in DDMMYY, and I want to convert and this is a string format. If I go back to this, you can see here the date is in a string value. So I need the string to be converted into a date value. So I'm converting the string date to date format. So for which I use the spark.select command. I'll take all the columns and I'm creating another new column called date fmt. So you can see here, when I run this, I have my original date value and also I have my new column created along with it. The only difference that you see is the format between this date and this date. And the next step, I am going to drop some of the columns which is not required by me for my analysis. So I use the create a list called drop column list, and then I use the for loop inside the select to drop these columns. Now if I see if I say the spark.show, I have only 3 columns, which is municipality, consumption and date formatted. Then this is a cosmetic step. If you want, you can follow this, but this is not necessary. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to rearrange this column in a specific pattern, which is date, municipality and consumption pattern. And now you can see here like the data set has been rearranged in the format I wanted. And then we will be grouping the sum of the data and aggregating it. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm grouping the data set by municipality, by date, and then what I'm doing here, I'm aggregating the consumption and creating a new column as total consumption. So now you can see here I have a municipality, I have a date and I have a total consumption by municipality and by date. The next step is to create the window partition object. So for which I use WP window partition equal to window.partition by municipality. And now I want to get the top 5 rows by power consumption for each municipality. So how do I do that? I take all the columns for which I have given as a star, and then I use the row number. I am going to create an additional field called row number, and then I say WP dot order by the total consumption in a descending order, and give the name of the column as row number. And then I use a var class to say that it should be less than equal to n. So what is my n here? Here my n is 5. If you want to take the top 10, you can change this number from 5 to 10. So you can see here you have all the values here, and then it is being the top 5 rows by each municipality. So this is 5 and this is 5. So what you have done here is you have given a row number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by municipality. The next step is to get the rank order for my by total consumption for each municipality. So to do that, I use total consumption rank as a new column. So for which I use the function called with column, and then I say f.rank and then order by wp.order by total consumption in a descending order. And when I say show 20, so it will show the top 20 rows. So you can see here you have the municipality, you have a date, you have a total consumption, and it has been ranked based on the descending order of total consumption. So this is the highest and this is the lowest for this municipality. Similar way you have for others as well. The next function is the dense rank. Before going to dense rank, I would like to explain the difference between rank and dense rank. Rank will have a gap when there is a tie. Say for example, if I have two values are same and both the value it gives as 1, rank as a 1, and for the third value it will say 3. Whereas dense rank will not leave a gap. For the first two rows it will say 1 and 1, and for the third value it will rank it as 2. So that is the difference between rank and dense rank. But in our scenario we don't have any ties, so we will not get to see the difference between rank and dense rank. But if you have a data set where you have a tie, let's say you have a data set which is having the same number like this, so you will have a rank as a 1, and for the next row also you have 1, and for this one you will have a rank as a 2. So that is the difference between rank and dense rank. The next scenario is you have this data set and you want to bucketize this into a 10 buckets. Let's say you want to create let's take another example. You want to categorize into a high consumption, medium consumption and low consumption, for which you give 1, 2, 3. 1 means high, 2 means low, medium, 3 means low. So if you want to do like that, you can make use of the function called entire. So in my case, I am creating a 10 buckets out of this data set based on my total consumption and municipality. So you can see the total consumption. This is the bucket. This comes under bucket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the same value here because I have already filtered out taken the top 5 rows. But if you exclude that step, probably you will get to see a different result here. So that is how this entire works. And the next function, window function, is percent rank. To get the percent rank, the functionality is same. All you do is, instead of saying rank, you mention here as a percent rank, and rest of the syntax is same. So what you see is, instead of a absolute value, you will get the percent value. So you can get the percent value here in the last column. And then if you want to take the moving average and running sum or running total, for that also you can make use of the window function. So I create a new column here called moving average total consumption, and then say average, and then the window function ordered by my date. And you see the value here, the total consumption here is somewhere around 629,347. So you see the same 629,347. Whereas in my second row, my average is nothing but the sum of these two. Let me select this. Sum of these two values divided by 2. For my third value, sum of these 3 and divided by 3. So that is how this works. And then if I want to take the running sum, I can just say sum function here, similar to your average. All I change here is from average to sum, and I can see this is the first value, so I will have the same value here. But whereas in the second value, it is nothing but the sum of the first row and the second row. For third, it is a sum of 1, 2 and 3. So this is my running total. So these are some of the functions which you can create in window function, which cannot be possible or not that easy to do it with the group by. Okay, now the interesting scenario. Let's say you have been asked to show the previous month consumption in the same row. So you have a row for previous month consumption also you have to show in the same row. So how do you do that? You use something called as a lag function, and within the lag function I have given a comma 1. Comma 1 means previous month or previous value. Make sure your data, before doing this, your data set is sorted in a particular order, either ascending order or descending order. So I have used a lag function here, and then you can see here I have given the column name and then the 1. 1 means the previous month. If I want to take previous to previous month, I have to say 2 here. So that's how the lag function works. So in this case, you see, for this particular row, there is no previous value, so it is null because this is the first value. So this is January 31st. For February 28, 2011, sorry, this one here I'm saying that getting the days between the last bill payment and this bill payment, or last reading and this reading. So I can say last reading was done on 31st January 2011, and in this one, like I can say that it was done 28 days before. Whereas for this case, for this data set, this was done on 275 days prior to this. So you can see this is the 30th November 2011 and this is February. So difference between this and this is 275. And you can also see for the other municipality also, like you get for the first value you get the null, and the difference between the next value and this value is 183 days, and this is your 151 days. And the similar way, if you want to know the days between the next row, reading, the following month reading and the current row reading, so you use the functionality called read here. Read is similar to lag, but the only difference is lag will go backwards, read will go forward. And I am taking the next reading here, the days between the next reading and the current one. So for this one, you have the next reading was done on 28th February, so it says 28 days. For February, it is between the February and November, it was 275 days. But if you see the last value, since we don't have any last value within this group, so for my last value, it will be null. Similarly, like how my lag, the first value was null, here my lead, the last value will be null. So these are some of the very basic functionality, window functionality which I explained here in this video. There are so many other functionality are that, but what I try to say here is this 20% of window functions will solve your 80% of analytical problems. So please try this out. I will be sharing the link in my description, video description. You can take that GitHub link and you can practice yourself. Until then, thank you.